Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul Khat. Today I'm going to be talking about abused democracy. Why talk about abused democracy? Every time we hear politicians challenging their opponent's leadership style, a large number of these politicians revolve around portraying themselves as being more democratic than their rivals. But the sad truth about these politicians is that none of them would admit the fact that human wants are unlimited and that there is no amount of good leadership that can promise to satisfy all of these wants during the term in office. Well, this might sound more like an economic phrase, but this can be applied to events surrounding world politics. I'm not trying to say that all politicians are acting dumb or evil in the current world political crisis, but all I'm saying is that if a politician's only policies to try to satisfy every citizen's wants, he's going to lose it all. While this might not be a problem to the developed countries, because majority of the citizens might have been well informed about how to vote wisely and how to approach problems whenever there is dissatisfaction with government. This might be the root cause of all political crises in the third world countries. So basically this is what happens. Every time politicians in the third world countries find themselves in power with no definite prioritized public policies in place, these politicians find themselves executing a system of guest and check governance. They get trapped among various demands of different groups that threaten to remove their leadership. We have seen cases of civilians uprising against the government, demanding democratization of government, installation of rule of law, freedom of speech, good roads, better healthcare system and so forth. But there is something funny about these democratic groups. Here I put the terms democratics in quotations because democracy is being abused these days by many politicians that want to bring confusion to vulnerable majority. Though there is no standard understanding of democracy among people, these politicians will threaten to remove their government even though it means resorting to a democratic process or use of violence to remove government in the name of bringing change. What kind of change are we intending to bring? Yes, we all need change. Not just a change, but a positive change. We don't have to prove to already victimized majority that we claim to be liberating that we're actually the worst dictators. What kind of democracy have we seen in Iraq? What kind of democracy have we seen in Syria? What kind of democracy have we seen in Libya? Or what kind of democracy have we attained in South Sudan? After all, these countries succumb to delusional forces of democracy. So what is the role of each of us in these situations? Aspiring leaders with true sense of humanity need to rescue these innocent masses from being victims of these political manipulations. They need to offer them a peaceful alternative to dictatorship. They need to stop these politicians from abusing democracy and assure fellow citizens that they are true indeed custodian of democracy. And we the masses need to set up our values that are distinct from those of elites in power. These values should be based on a perspective of common man's expectation from a good leader. We all have common expectations when not in power. It should be easy to assemble these expectations and set bounds to them, such that any leader acting or operating outside these bounds will be deemed incompetent to serve as a public servant regardless of whether they stand for democracy or not. These will give us a chance to vote them out in the next election or use the land's constitutions against them. We don't have to fall victim of these self-proclaimed politicians every time elections are coming. For these people will not help us fight dictatorship in the lasting way, but will push us more to the extreme ends. For the history has it that those who preach peace are never at peace with themselves. Those preaching love never extend that love beyond their noses, and therefore those preaching empty democracy will neither be democratic nor deliver democracy. For true humanity does not just preach humanity but practice it as well. And thank you so much for listening.